Janico Sola, Fox News.
At the box office this weekend, Inside Out 2 earned $155 million. I'm Lisa Lacera. This is Fox News.
Always here to help you. This island is our home. Through the years, we've been a friend to the neighbors we have known. Now we're banking on the future. Services to choose. Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
It used to be that a cancer diagnosis meant off-island trips and complicated therapy. Scary words like chemo and radiation, but things are changing for the better. At Island Cancer Center, we've invested in cutting-edge radiation technology that targets just the cancer, which means lower dosages and fewer side effects with maximum results. Technicians with decades of experience working with state-of-the-art tools are ready to help you and your family now. We know you've got questions. Get the answers now. Visit islandcancercenter.com for more information. That's islandcancercenter.com. Our family treating your family.
Half a day. Kim Anderson from Security Title here to share some behind-the-scenes functions of a title company. First, we search the chain of title to property, and when a critical link is missing, we work with the owners to correct their ownership. When it comes to a sale, we work closely with realtors and lenders to ensure a smooth closing. Finally, we back up our work with a title insurance policy that guarantees the buyer they actually own the property. Security Title has the management of real estate closings down to a science. Give us a call. We are here to help.
6 after 9 o'clock in the morning. Psych. Psych. All right. Don't you hate it when that happens? I said I'd like to get together with a Zoom meeting on Tuesday morning, to which the opposite number in the U.S. mainland took it to believe that it was going to be Tuesday afternoon their time. So tomorrow, I have the Zoom meeting that I can't get out
tomorrow.
of. Yeah.
It's Thursday in Saipan.
I don't know. But here's the deal.
It's all right, man.
Yeah, I didn't want to take two mornings off. So we're back here.
We're back.
I'm glad I started trying to get on that Zoom meeting just as quickly as I possibly could, because otherwise Joe was already out the door. The car's already running.
Yeah, welcome to the channel.
Thank you. It's good to have you back. 7 after 9. Not sure where everybody is. I think the YouTube side is back on. I don't see any chats on that. But if you get a chirp on your social media that says we're back, it's not kidding. Facebook Live. I'll see if I can get the. I'm pretty sure the stream is back up on that. But how will I know? I won't until I actually manipulate and do things. In the meantime, it's 7 after 9 o'clock in the morning. The Ray Gibson Show is brought to you by our pals over at American President Lines, APL, a global presence with a local home. And it might get hot here at some point today. And here's our recommendation. If it does get hot and unbearable, what you do is you go to the nearest Wendy's and order their Triple Berry Frosty, the newest sweet summer treat, combining the freshest fruit flavors of strawberries and blackberries and raspberries, and transport your senses to a cool summer vacay with this smooth and creamy treat. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's Triple Berry Frosty.
Real Talk Radio is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Back a little bit quicker than we thought it was going to be. What can I say? What can I say? And I'm curious. Are we actually online? I mean, I know I sent the thing. Facebook says I'm live, and I can see my picture on the YouTube side. Not sure about Rumble. I always say, oh yeah. FinFan says yes. FinFan says Zoom. All right, we'll get the Zoomy thing out there tomorrow. I don't know. I'll just scroll until I find something, because there were some interesting comments from some interesting folks online on the Facebook side. We'll just start all over again. Is the way that works. Anyway, as I'm fond of saying, welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. It is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. 888-8255 is the telephone number. If you want to jump in on any of the conversations you yak about whatever it is that I've been over, and frankly, my brain stopped at 8:59. So it's like the first part of the day never happened. It's like it's just, who did we talk to? Who did we interview already? What were the big stories that I was perfectly satisfied walking away from the radio station and going to my Zoom on? I don't know. I'll tell you later. There's still a bunch of stuff in my head, and the truth is that there's a bunch of stuff that I haven't gotten to yet. Some of it's been hanging out for a day because, as usual, I over-prepare, and there might be some stories that I was hanging on to that I did not quite get to. 9:10, and more so, a little bit related to one of the stories that Donna had this morning. There's concerns that have been expressed at KOM for sure about excessive force used by a police officer. There's a video that is going out. I don't want to say it's viral because I didn't get 17 copies of it, but there. Oh my God, Joe, what did you send me?
No,
JAMA?
Dr. Max sent me that because he asked me what you wanted to talk about, and then he sent that to me, and he said, "Why, Joe, do you have a problem?" And I said, "No, that's what Ray wanted to discuss."
This is a video I can't. No, it's a picture I can't put up on the screen. But we need to talk about this because there's already a case of it in the United States, and it is a new. I want to say new kind of STD, but it's new. Needed. As they say, well, it's new to you. Okay, so we'll talk about that. But in the meantime, I got to get that off the screen here because it looks like Pride Week. 9:11 in the morning. So getting back to where I was setting this up for a conversation, and so there's a guy who was having some kind of a mental breakdown, perhaps induced by drugs. Or maybe alcohol, or maybe it's just somebody living kind of at the edge of polite society, if you will, and just cannot seem to get out from under the voices in his head. And the voices were very, very loud the other night at somebody's house where he was proclaiming that Jesus is here. Look up, not down. He wants you to look down. The devil wants you to look down. You need to look up, and basically creating a nuisance of himself. The family, who seemed to be most annoyed by this, were able to manage to subdue him, and then the police came. And the police did their best to calm him down and subdue him and take hold of the situation. Well, one of the police officers allegedly, I can't tell by the video that I saw, allegedly kicked him in the head, which always worked to get my attention when I was a kid. I don't know. It was just one of those things, smack you in the back, and you go, yes, whatever it is, reset. I'll do. Reset. Thank you. And so I don't know to what degree that falls in the police escalation of force protocols. The individual was tased multiple times, but it did not seem to work, the tasing. And I get that there are a lot of people. This is the scary part here. There's a lot of people that when situations like this happen, they go, "Oh, if only there were a less lethal way to deal with people like this." And unfortunately, and I spend a lot of time on social media where there are videos of this kind of thing where you might get somebody, a police officer, trying to control a situation until his backup arrives, pulls out the taser because he doesn't want to kill somebody for being unruly, doesn't want to do suicide by cop, so he pulls out a taser and shoots the guy with the taser, and you get some people at a certain level of hyped upness, or the drugs are in control, and the taser does nothing.
Yeah.
The taser does nothing.
Is that all you got?
Yeah, and now you got a situation where you got somebody that's borderline crazy and pissed off. He's got a charge in him. The adrenaline's going through. This is the kind of, you take a guy, you shoot him 2 or 3 times with a bullet, he probably wouldn't feel the first or second one at all. Just because the adrenaline is up so high. And these are the situations that we find our police officers in. These are the situations we find our families in. And I wonder what to do about it. There's this story from Hawaii Free Press. I've got news stories from them, but this is the one from last week. Homeless people, they say, in Hawaii, displaying mental health issues could be taken off the street against their will and brought in for assessment at a 3-month behavioral center if a new bill becomes law. to which some are saying it's about time.
Oh, wow.
The new approach would apply to homeless people who draw both concern and scorn for their behavior, which could include wandering in traffic, yelling in public, hurling threats, generally exhibiting signs of distress, according to their state health department's medical director for Crisis Continuum, who oversees patient care at the new Behavioral Health Crisis Center. Senate Bill 3139, which sits on Governor Josh Green's desk, is designed to allow law enforcement officers to spend less time with homeless patients, waiting for them to be seen in emergency rooms like at Queens Medical Center that are disproportionately used by homeless people. Instead, officers would take homeless people directly to the new Behavioral Health Crisis Center in a process that would take 5 to 7 minutes. In the latest point-in-time count of Oahu's homelessness, 33%, 2,400 or so out of the total homeless population. God, it's got to be higher than that. They say their total homeless population now is 4,494. 33% reported a mental illness, compared with 26% who reported a substance abuse disorder. Well, those are scary numbers, too. So 33% are mentally unstable. The other 26 are on some kind of a drug, and that's about 2,000 people. Can you imagine living like that in the city? SB 3139 would allow law enforcement officers to involuntarily take anyone exhibiting signs of distress to that behavioral health crisis center, and could become a model to be replicated statewide if it's successful. Out of 112 people who have been admitted to the center since March, 56% of them, or half, have gone into some form of housing, like substance abuse treatment programs, clean and sober home, or homeless shelters, according to the health department. The ACLU, who does their best to keep people homeless, has a pending lawsuit over Honolulu's homeless policies, in addition to concerns about taking homeless people off the street against their will. I oppose, according to the ACLU Hawaii director Salma Rizvi. What color do you suppose her hair is? I oppose efforts to funnel persons with disabilities and neurodivergence into jails and mental health facilities simply to hide them from the public view to satiate tourists and property owners. Which is being translated by some as saying, we at the ACLU are committed to keeping the insane on display in your face at all times so we can exploit them to advance policy goals and get funding for profitable nonprofits. To which I say, you know what? Not very often that I agree with some of the policies that they've got in Hawaii, but this one I agree with. I think that there are people that we have, unfortunately, in our homeless community that are incapable of taking care of themselves. And whether that's through some kind of substance abuse or whether because it's some kind of a mental disorder, I'm not saying pick them up, hide them away someplace. If they are beyond their capability to care for themselves and see to their needs and be in a position where we can diagnose and treat their illnesses, then maybe the state, that is the government, needs to do something about it. Now, one of the big problems where that has we've been held back by that in past is because we just don't have the facilities for it. We don't have the facilities for the homeless that we've got now. What are we going to do with the ones that we determined to have some kind of a mental illness or a substance abuse issue that we're going to take care of? And we'll leave that to the guys that are smarter than me. But they're talking about it and working on it in Hawaii. And maybe we ought to have the same kind of conversations around here where we just say, as a community, listen, I'm sorry you're having such a hard time. I'm sorry you're homeless, and I'm sorry you're crazy. But we can take care of both of them. And if we will do this involuntarily, if need be. Otherwise, follow me. Come with me. Get into this side of the car. Huh? Get it over in the back. Don't worry, the doors don't open. Come with me, and I'm going to take you someplace. Yeah. And we'll see to it that you get the treatment that you need. And I hope that that works out, and I hope that the ACLU gets swatted down on this one. As far as I'm concerned, the ACLU is like the United Nations. It's just absolutely useless. United Nations hell-bent on all kinds of other stuff. And the ACLU, at the time where we really needed people looking out for the civil liberties of Americans, they were nowhere to be seen when all of the draconian rules and regulations started coming down in what I love to refer to as was those stupid COVID times. And they're still talking about, there's still a conversation about a couple of new forms of COVID. I told you they're seeing more of that in Hawaii. Looks like the flu. Anyway, more on that. I've been waiting to get a hold of somebody over at Public Health to talk about SNAP benefits. And they say that there's supposed to be another $120 per child that has been added to the SNAP cards. And Guam is on that list. All payments will be made by July 31st. So if you are a mom or a dad and you are in that program, expect there's going to be a little bit more money in there for the summer months. I keep trying to remember to do this story on Mondays, but seeing as how tomorrow is Juneteenth and many of you have got the day off, maybe it will apply as well. Psychologists say we're afraid of Sundays. You ever get that certain anxiety? I get mine Sunday when I wake up. And I go, I got to sleep in a little bit yesterday. Got to sleep in a little bit today. This is awesome. But tomorrow, I've got to wake up early and go back to work. Those are part of the Sunday scaries. That anxious feeling of dread many of us experience the night before the work week starts or following a long holiday weekend. It's real. Psychologist Dr. Matthew Lorber says the transition from weekend to work week tends to be too abrupt for people who don't give themselves enough time off. Some people will report headaches or nausea. There's a legitimate physical reaction to the stress and anxiety. A global poll conducted by career site Monster.com found that 76% of us report having really bad Sunday night blues compared to only 47% of the people in other parts of the world. That might be the other sophisticated and progressive parts of the world where they only work 4 days a week anyway. But I don't know about you. I do get that feeling on Sundays in general, and I try not to let it cast a pall over my Sunday because I got work to do. I got stuff I got to take care of. I need to go and make sure there's a sando working over at Carabao. I got to go and make sure there's enough sand and bikinis and coolers on the beach down in Tumon. I take that role as a vanguard of that part of our community very, very seriously. And intend to continue to fulfill that role for as long as I'm physically able to. But there is that point where it's not quite sunset on a Sunday, and maybe you've been goofing off with pals over at a barbecue, or maybe over at Jimmy D's Chamarita Lounge. Oh, not at the Chamarita Lounge. Sorry, Jimmy D's Beach Bar. Whoops. Oh, did I just do an age reveal here on the program? Might also share a couple of other things. Where's the story about Biden that ticks me out? So I've told you about this before. I get some of my news and information out of a thing called Axios. Now, Axios was recommended to me by another news kind of guy. And he says, you need to be reading Axios, bro. I said, why? I said, because it's super, super unbiased. I said, really? Someplace where you can go and get some middle-of-the-road information that has not been colored by somebody's political bias. But I have noticed recently in my reads of Axios, and I'm saying this now as a warning to you, I'm noticing now that they seem to be on a little bit of a how do I say it? Gaslighting tear. A gaslighting tear. And the most recent example of it is in today's Axios, where they're talking about Biden's family tragedy. I care.
You mean having a crackhead son?
No, there's more. There's more than that. So I don't know. It's like they're like, you should be. Well, you heard Fox News in one of the hours this morning where they say that the videos that we're seeing with our own eyes. The videos that we are seeing with our own eyes of Joe Biden doing forehead-to-forehead communication like, Spock on Star Trek with our Holy Father, the Pope at the G7. The White House is saying that didn't actually happen. Oh. It's a deep fake. Don't you know we've got artificial intelligence and all of that kind of thing? What you are seeing with your own eyes is not real. And if it was real, they'd show it to you on CNN. If it was real, they'd show it to you on CNBC. If it was real, they'd show it on MSNBC. For heaven's sakes, you're not seeing it in the regular media. Therefore, it didn't happen. The video of him wandering off at the at the G7 when the what is it parachutes coming out of the sky. The parachute guys were coming out of the sky, and they're saying no,
a butterfly.
That did not happen. It did not happen. There was something else that got his attention over there, but that did not happen. He did not have to get reeled in by the premier of Italy. That didn't happen. That's another one of these deep fakes. And the video of Joe Biden being escorted off the stage at the fundraiser that he had the other night by Barack Obama, by former President Barack Obama. That didn't happen either. Whatever the stories are, there are people now in mainstream media and the White House that are saying it didn't happen. Deep fakes of the worst kind, ladies and gentlemen. And now I think it's sneaking into even some of the much heralded so-called fair, free media. From Axios, they're saying courtroom revelations about the turmoil in Joe Biden's family have left some of his aides torn about whether he should have run for president at all. And the vicious nature of contemporary politics has ripped through the Biden clan since he re-entered politics in 2019. His historic presidency has doubled as a family tragedy. Are you starting to feel bad for this guy? When Biden declared for president in 2019, his family was plagued by addiction, grief, and soap opera levels of drama. The legal cases involving his son Hunter and daughter Ashley have definitely shown that to us. Aides know to tiptoe around the president when there's bad family news, and he's often angry or distracted about legal and political attacks on them, according to 5 people very familiar with the dynamic. His family struggles, along with the still raw personal grief over his son Beau's death in 2015, still raw, can manifest with tears and an impenetrable sadness, as one person close to Biden called it. Not messy. Biden announced his 2020 campaign at a time when both of his adult children were struggling with addiction to drugs. Hunter was still in a spiral of addiction to crack and alcohol when he left D.C. for California in the 24 hours surrounding his father entering the presidential race on April the 25th of 2019. Does that mean that he was high when he joined his old man?
Oh, wow.
Unsurprisingly, Ashley was in outpatient rehab in Florida and occasionally relapsing in her first half of 2019. This is according to her recovery diary, which was later stolen and given to a right-wing news source. However, it has been verified as for real. His Beau's widow, Hallie Biden, had only recently gotten sober from crack cocaine. Anybody want to guess as to where she was introduced to crack cocaine? Who gave her first dose? His name rhymes with punter. Between the lines, Axios writes, President Biden has confessed to feeling guilty about Hunter and Ashley's plights and worries about them relapsing. Neither Ashley nor Hunter wanted to be the reason their father didn't run, and they encouraged him to do so. So did Jill Biden and the grandchildren. As Hunter wrote in his memoir, Beautiful Things.
What?
As Hunter wrote in his memoir, Beautiful Things, is another example of the fact that the book reading population will buy crap whenever they can. As he wrote, Beau and I always knew that Dad wouldn't retire until he became president. Bro, you seen Hallie around? Joe Biden's sister, Valerie Biden Owens, said serious doubts about her brother running. I didn't want the family to go through it. I was worried the family couldn't go through it. I worried about Hunter, the grandkids, and Joe. Part of me wanted to say to those urging him on, look, he's done enough. Leave him alone, she wrote. And then there's more of that. So there's there's that, and I don't know, I'm starting to look at some of the people that support Axios with their advertising, and I'm starting to think, yeah, I might be a couple of connections being made here with what feels like a little bit of deep statey stuff going on, and a sincere desire to make people feel bad for Joe Biden and the deep fakes that are plaguing him, which drive me absolutely crazy. 9:29 in the morning on the Ray Gibson Show. On the way, I'm gonna find the paperwork on something I saw earlier that didn't put any scare into me, because I don't think that I have to worry about that kind of thing. The first U.S. case of transmitted fungal infection. The CDC and the WHO are going to get us on something. It might be bird flu. It might be a calmer, kinder, gentler form of COVID. It might be swine flu. But it might be a thing called JAMA, as in bad mama, JAMA. What is JAMA? And who is this first case of U.S. case of sexually transmitted JAMA? You want to know more, don't you? Better call me before you call the travel agent. I'll tell you where he's been and what he's got as the program continues.
Boss, I got run over by a forklift.
Boss, I crashed a company truck.
What do we do? Our warehouse and inventory are gone.
Hi, this is Dave Silva from AB Risk Solutions, and it's time for Risk 101. Everything you just heard are examples of risk your businesses can face. Our job is to ask the hard what-if questions and teach you how to reduce your exposures and help you recover if things go sideways. We've got decades of experience in Micronesia working with businesses big and small. Call AB Risk Solutions today at 777-2668 for a free inspection and quote.
AB Risk Solutions, formerly known as Aon.
Circle K and Ambrose are turning up the heat with our 80th Liberation Day giveaway. Win big with a fully catered reserved spot at the Liberation Day Parade, plus $2,500 worth of additional prizes, which includes a canopy, chairs, a cooler, and more. Simply purchase select items and enter your My Rewards ID at any Circle K, and you're automatically entered to win. Promo ends July 3rd, so hurry. Don't miss out on this epic celebration. Visit 76circlekguam.com for more info. Must be 21 years or older to win. Enjoy responsibly.
JV International Safety Equipment has it all for you. Fall protection, rain gear, traffic signs, speed bumps, custom signs and banners, PPEs, fire extinguishers, plus more. Check them out on Facebook at JV International Safety Equipment Company or visit their website, www.jvisec.com. JV International Safety Equipment, Guam's leader in occupational and environmental safety equipment. Call 688-9524. JV International Safety Equipment, located in Harmon Industrial Park.
Hi, the commentary, YouTube guys at DP asking what happened. FinFan says the Zoom was canceled. No, it wasn't canceled. They got the day wrong. I wanted Tuesday, and they said, okay, Tuesday it is. And they're in, I don't know, South Dakota, Screaming Hills, South Dakota, or something like that. And so when they said Tuesday, they meant their Tuesday afternoon, not my Tuesday morning. So tomorrow at 9 o'clock, I'm going to jam out of the program. Where is this? Let me see. 9:32 in the morning. And on the Facebook side, and thank you very much for coming, Beth. Elizabeth Mendiola Kichisu says, Jesus will come again. Now, I don't know if that's a reference to the story that I was talking about with the guy and Jesus is here, or us resurrecting the show.
We're waiting.
Just after 9 o'clock in the morning. Charita Renee, Titano Wheelheight says, you live. Yes, I am. Jerome McDonald and Jose made it back for a little bit more. Jigo Jarhead, Brennan Fausto, Gina Marie Tenorio. Call. Use the schools they plan to close down due to maximization. Well, that's a great idea, Gina. So we could turn the schools into facilities that we can do for these 3-month mental evaluations and treatments. That wouldn't be such a bad idea. Jerome's online asking, what about that part where he was supposedly defecating? You're referring to what was that? That was in Paris, right? That was the
that was the
anniversary
Paris
of
poop affair.
the anniversary of the D-Day. And there was a picture. Now I will admit that one might have been taken out of context because it looked like the president was doing that poop. What did we call it?
I don't know.
Where he was like kind of stooped over on the side.
Like he was trying to sit at the same time.
Yeah. It was apparently a long sit, and he eventually ended up sitting in a chair. But between that long stoop. And then we got to leave, and we got to leave like right now.
We gotta go.
That had people asking questions. Now, 9:34. It's not as though we are alone. I mean, if there's right side red people that are taking some of these Biden things out of context, we're not alone in doing that. There's other blue campaigners that are out there taking campaign speeches from Donald Trump and taking them out of context. So if you ever see Donald Trump giving a speech and it makes it sound like he's egotistical, doesn't care about the people in the crowd falling down because of heat poisoning or whatever, all of that was taken out of context, and the entire part of the conversation had everything to do with him making sure that people were taken care of and knew where to go and what to do in the event that it did get too hot for them. So both sides are guilty of doing it. You just got to be a smart consumer to make sure that you get it. Jose says twice now on the tarmac and in Paris. Hey, my favorite back scratcher and back cracker, Greg Miller, is online.
Oh, yeah.
Jose also saying, no, go ahead and run for president, Dad. I'll just get rid of the laptop. Don't worry, get rid of the laptop. Get rid of the laptop. You don't have to worry about it anymore. All right, so 9:35, we reached out to the medical correspondent of the Ray Gibson Show. And I don't know, did he say he was going to talk to me on a Tuesday as well?
Man, I tried to get him to call, but then he's just sending me, he's asking if I have the problems. Maybe that's him.
No, we don't. Yeah, that might be, actually. It looks like it might be coming in for the right area code. Dr. George Macris is the medical correspondent of the Ray Gibson Show, and there's a story that came out of Epoch Health. First U.S. case of sexually transmitted fungal infection called JAMA. Now, naturally, it's got a more sophisticated, doctor name. 13 cases of TMVII, I guess that's TM8 fungus, were reported last year in France. Officials report a worldwide rise in fungal threats, including T. endotinae of India. REY? Calling in long distance?
Yeah.
All right, hold on a second. Because I just launched into the story about this JAMA.
Yeah, man, but yeah.
Bro, look it up. You got to look it up. You got to look at it. The graphics will scare the hell out of you. Now, the only thing that we've got to hear after that is it's, what do they call that? Flesh-eating disease of one kind or another. 9:36 in the morning. REY calling in long distance. Buenas. Zen Havade Ray.
El Ray, Hoffa, Brother King. How are you this morning, sir? It's almost 8 o'clock in the evening where I'm at, but I listen to you guys do as best I can, and always interested in finally figured out a way to get my phones working so I could call you without having to go through things.
No problem. No problem. Nice to hear from you. What's up besides that?
I thought I might call you because since you were looking for time, seemed like you had a little time, a couple of minutes. I know how it is in the radio business.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to say hop on everything, and I was wondering several of your stories to comment on, but I think the important thing is your local stuff, like you emphasized about the tourism and stuff. What would the opportunities would it be around there for a blind man to try to in the tourism business or maybe the radio business or some kind of business that I know since I'm a native Texan, but I'm calling from Virginia. That's where I'm.
Virginia for lovers, Ray.
Hey, there you go. Amen. I'm right in the middle of everything. You got, you got everything busy north, south, and then east is nothing but beach, and west is the rest of the country. But it ain't no beach like there is, nothing like down there back on Guam.
That's a fact.
I remember those days, and I was like I'm trying to work up an idea and see if tourism brings some things for Airbnb thing for my place and travel, because I just had to put down my dog. I had a three-legged dog. He wasn't good for walking me around because we always went in circles.
It's like my one-eyed cat.
Oh yeah. But you didn't get within arm's reach of me. So I'm looking to try to do something that might be profitable and get out and do things, and maybe some education on folks with disabilities. I'm disabled veteran. I was a Navy radio man, so I've been in the radio commercially and with the military. So
I know a guy. You know, I am in Tumon an awful lot, as you know, both sides of it, on the street side and on the beach side. And it occurs to me from time to time while I'm there is what can we do to better accommodate folks with different kinds of abilities? You got people like yourself, vision impaired. I don't know to what degree your vision, whether you're totally blind or 100% or what.
Oh, yeah, I don't even have the eyeballs in my head. Yeah,
there's no eyeballs in the head. Must have been.
Yeah, I got
good for 100% then.
Prosthetics. Yeah, I got the prosthetics, and I always like to mess with people, and get on my nerves. I'll turn one sideways and go wall-eyed and say, "Man, I'm looking at you."
I love that. So I don't know. I mean, I'm in and out of hotels, beach access and things like that, and it's tough enough after a couple of drinks to be able to navigate that. I can't imagine how tough it would be for somebody that can't see the trail, not very well marked, even for sighted people, and then it's difficult as hell to get around in lots of places because wherever we've got a sidewalk, some jackhole put a utility pole there, or they put the sidewalk where there was a utility pole as opposed to taking the time, trouble, and expense of moving it. We get into the intersections, and they're tricky, as I say, for sighted people. We don't have a whole lot of those crosswalks that make any noise to let you know that the white guy says walk, red guy says stop, and we don't have anything that makes that noise like they do in places like Japan or some of the big cities. So there's a lot of work that needs to get done. It'd be great if guys like you and who am I thinking of? Ben Servino, right? To get together and find ways to make not just to meet ADA compliance, but to take it a step further. You know what I'd love to be able to do, Ray, with you is take you down to the beach, down to the part of Tumon that I like to spend some time watching the sunset and chasing bikinis and cold beers. But if you were in a wheelchair,
I was right there I was right there in Agana, and so at the neck end there. So I spent a lot of time on Terlagi and then over in Anderson, and then there's always BAB. So,
but I mean, how do you get there? How do you get there if you're in a wheelchair? How do I take you down to the water? How do I do that if you're in a wheelchair?
I'm not in a wheelchair. I'm not in a wheelchair. I can walk in it. All I need to
No. But my point is, if you were, we get a lot of families coming out here from South Korea. A lot of people from Japan will come out, and they might have some member of the family that's wheelchair bound. Very common, and becoming more common with all the amputations that we have because of diabetes on Guam. Becoming more common for residents to find themselves wheelchair bound, which means that unless we figure out how they'll never ever go to the beach again. They can't get to the water.
Yes, sir. I have a beach here. You just have some fat balloon tires, or go on the board, take your board with you, and ride it, and let them pull you.
That's the way. That's the way.
Hey, man, I appreciate it. God bless you guys. You do a good job. I'll try to catch you. I'm having a lot of trouble with phones, but I think the VA they give us the IEDs that were does for phones and things like that. So. Trying to catch up and get everything in sync on the cloud or whatever.
Welcome to call.
It takes a long arm, but I appreciate it. God bless you guys. It sounded good.
Right back at you.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Not a problem. Right back at you, and I hope my accent doesn't throw you.
And it's R-A-Y. Ray.
All right, that's cool. So is mine. All right, you have a terrific day. 888-8255, 888-TALK. Oh, it smelled like ham radio.
Great call.
Where are you calling in from? This is the States. Tell me about what you're up to. I've been threatening. Did I tell you I renewed my my amateur license?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Amateur.
Yeah. Because I can
radio.
I can do it online.
Yeah.
I can do the thing online. Wait,
they approved you again?
Yep. Well, it's once you've taken the test, unlike that stupid rule.
They let you through, man.
Unlike that stupid rule that we have for the concealed carry, you don't have to take another test once you become an amateur extra.
You're done,
they'll just assume that once you've got the knowledge, it's probably not going to zip out of your head. Why it is that the police department records and ID division believes that it is required of me to go and take another safety class. I mean, maybe they've seen me shoot. Maybe that's the thing. We've seen you shoot, Ray.
We've seen your targets.
Yeah, and
there's no holes in them.
You need more training.
They killed all the worms, Ray.
9:43. Okay, programming note. I'm not going to be here at 9 o'clock tomorrow. That's the thing. All right, let me get back to the
try that
JAMA.
again.
Let me just get back to the
All
JAMA
right,
story.
okay.
All right, first case of sexually transmitted skin infection caused by trichophyton mentogrophites type 7 has been identified in the United States. A report published in the JAMA Dermatology Journal June 5th detailed the case of a 30-year-old man who suffered from tinea, Tinea, a fungal skin infection. Oh, I thought JAMA was the disease. Apparently it's not.
me
A
too,
journal
man.
of something medical.
It sounds
okay.
like a great name
It
for
does.
one, though.
We should make one. We should totally make one. What do you got? I got JAMA.
I got the
JAMA.
JAMA.
What happened? I was like, Guam, JAMA. I don't know. It's a thing. Anyway, 30-year-old male who suffered from tinea. The man who has a history. See if this applies to you. Now, whether this is something that you should be concerned about or not. The man who has a history of sexual relations with other men had scaly reddish rashes on his genitalia, his arms, legs, and back and tail. I'm messing around. He didn't have a tail.
He didn't have a tail.
He traveled within California. Of course he did. Visited England and Greece before developing the skin lesions. He reported multiple male sexual partners while traveling, none with a similar infection, visited a sauna 2 months prior to developing these skin lesions. The person has no HIV or immunocompromising conditions.
God.
He was initially diagnosed with dermatophytosis, an infection of the hair, skin, or nails, and was given medication for a period of 4 weeks. However, there was no improvement. Later analysis found that he was infected with TM7, a sexually transmitted form of, this gets grosser. Tattoo Shauna. Don't eat right now.
Yeah, don't eat, man.
Wait, who else is
Put
playing
the
around?
snacks away.
Jade Dewan, Greg Miller, Rico B, Alan C,
Good morning, Jade.
Alan Seed, Brad Rosales, Sonny Cruz. Okay, don't see Tattoo Shauna here, so I'll continue. Later analysis found he was infected with it. The patient it's a fungal ringworm infection. Yay!
I'm always down for a little bit of ringworm.
How about that? Is that a red flag?
Yeah.
Red or green?
Yeah.
No ringworm? TM7 has been
doable.
increasingly reported in Europe. 13 cases were identified in France last year, mostly among men who have sex with other men. And the tinea condition explored in the case report can look very different from the neat, regular circles seen in most forms of ringworm. Hence, they can be confused for lesions caused by eczema, leading to people potentially neglecting the condition for months. Avram Kaplan, lead author of the study and an assistant professor, said the healthcare providers in the United States should be aware that TM7 has now reached the country. Even though infections can take months to clear up and are difficult to treat, the condition seems to have responded to standard antifungal therapies like terbinafine. They're more on the study. I'm just pointing it out here, guys. I know it's Pride Month.
We found the last ring in the relationship rings, Ray.
I don't want to say.
It's engagement ring, wedding ring, suffering,
and now suffering,
and then ringworm.
There you go. So this is the latest scare tactic coming out of the CDC, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, CDC.
Next, they're going to say that no, you doesn't have to be, because they're going to get hung up on political correctness. They're going to say, oh my God, it's another one of these things that only gay guys get, and we can't have that. We can't have that. They're gonna make it. We gotta make it sound somewhere.
I have ringworm again. I'm never gonna say.
No.
It's just a regular one.
Yeah, put a Band-Aid on all of that stuff. They're going to say that anybody can get this now. It just happens to be in these cases. The predominant number of cases come from men who have sex with other men. But it's not just something between gay men. I'm sure that there are other ways that everybody else, if they're exposed to this, might be able to get it. Because ringworms, they travel in the air in droplets. That's you got to be careful. 6 foot distancing and wear a mask if you don't want to get all this stuff. Just another way that they're trying to scare us. Now, I will say, because it brought a great deal of laughter to me. There is a new term I learned a couple of weeks ago, which I thought might actually sound like a fun place to live. Gayborhood. Not a neighborhood, but a gayborhood.
In a gayborhood.
Yeah.
It's clean and colorful.
You got to be. Gotta be, Joe.
I'm down for that then.
Can you imagine
It's
that?
kind,
No, the
clean,
music
and
plays.
colorful.
So there's some neighborhoods, you got some guy and he's working on his cars and motorcycles all the time. He's listening to loud music, rap music. There's a Eminem stuff, coming out of the speakers in the garage 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Guarantee that doesn't happen in a neighborhood.
Never.
No.
What do they play? Frankie
It's
Goes
Raining
to
Man.
Hollywood?
Frankie
Raining
Goes to
Man.
Hollywood. The entire suite. Frankie Goes to Hollywood. Some Sade every once in a while.
All night. I can jam that one all night.
Manilow. I'm just kidding. I'm having fun with the topic. Apparently, somebody on Facebook will know this now. Apparently, there was one of these so-called neighborhoods where they took out all the U-turn signs. You didn't see that?
Yeah, because that's offensive, Ray.
You didn't see that?
I saw a small clip, man. They're removing all of them.
They took out all of the U-turn
nipples.
signs in the neighborhood because they found it offensive. Well, the funny part was, did a little bit of follow-up, and they started interviewing guys saying, what exactly is so offensive about this? And none of them could say. They just said that it triggered them in a way that only, LGBTQ plus folks will understand. You'll never understand. You've never been through what we're through. And so we're going to take them down. So apparently that's the new thing now in these neighborhoods is if you get stuck going in one direction, you have to keep going in that direction because no U-turn.
You can't ungay yourself.
Which is one of my favorite jokes, one of my favorite dad jokes. And this will happen on Marine Corps Drive every once in a while, like right in front of the fire station, and my daughter will go, "What are you doing, Dad? So you're not supposed to be doing this." I said I wanted to go straight, but the sign said no, you turn. It's 9:50. I'll be right back.
At APL, their expertise and extensive network can help you grow your business and reach out to more global markets. As a responsible carrier, APL is also committed to a sustainable future, whether it's protecting the environment or investing their efforts in giving back to the community. APL's dedicated team in Guam and the U.S. mainland are here to support you. Call 671-588-4651 or visit apl.com. New benefits are taking flight. Instead of 2 times miles, the United credit card from First Hawaiian Bank is now introducing 3 times miles on every dollar spent on United tickets purchased through United ticketing channels. Apply by August 31st, 2024, and if approved, you can earn 35,000 miles when you spend $1,500 within the first 3 months. Get on board with the First Hawaiian Bank United credit card. It all starts with yes. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit a First Hawaiian branch or go to fhb.com/United.
For all your real estate needs, call the professionals at Hoffaday Realty. Jody, Saran, Libby, and Lolita, and they'll take care of you on every step of the real estate process. No worries. Just contact Hoffaday Realty at 588-4232 or 588-HOFFA or email them at hoffadayrealty@gmail.com. They're at 426 Chelon, San Antonio, Suite 204 in Tamuning. Open Monday through Friday, 10 to 4. Hoffaday Realty for all your real estate needs.
Right. 888-825-5888-TALK. That's the telephone number around these parts. What else is going on? Tony Roberts, all career politicians should get a raise. It kind of goes against some of the grain here. Some of the people that will chime in on this channel. Priscilla Robinson watching. There's Sonny Cruz, Brad, et cetera, et cetera. Just a few more minutes. Real Joe's like, we're almost there. Almost made it. 9:50.
See the finish line.
What the hell's Ray going to do to kill 8 minutes on the radio? First of all, it's not 8 minutes. It's 7.5 minutes from right now. It's between here and the Fox News Live. Now, I could spend a little bit more time talking about how the new Title IX transgender rules are being blocked in more and more states. Biden came out and said, no, it's okay if men shower with your daughters in all of the sports activities. There's nothing wrong with men competing with your daughters in all of these events, even though, thank God, it looks like the Olympics has said no to that guy who was like 468th in swimming in the United States and until he became a girl. And then he was number 1 across the country. They said he can't play in the Olympics. And I'm absolutely delighted with that story. So I might do that one a little bit later on. But honestly, what I think I might be able to kill a few minutes with is not a recommendation, an ask. I was asked by somebody who clearly wants to spend more time at Village of Donkey, but doesn't want to say they want to spend more time at Village of Donkey. I was asked about eating at a couple of restaurants there. And one of the names came up, and then I said, honestly, I haven't seen anything nice about that restaurant since they opened. I've seen some pretty harsh reviews on the foodies things on Facebook and et cetera. So I don't know. I'm willing to give them a try, but maybe I'll wait until they've got a little bit of that shakedown cruise taken care of. To which the answer was, okay, how about then Olive Garden? And I said, Olive Garden. And I don't know how to say this, but I have not eaten at Olive Garden yet. And I feel bad because I'm one of those guys. I was one of the guys on the radio that, every time we do one of these bits where they'd say, all right, if we could have any restaurant chain in the States come to Guam, what would it be? And Olive Garden was always one of the ones that came up. There's like that one and Red Lobster and Arby's. And we got rid of the Red Lobster, but we still haven't gotten Arby's. Hint, hint. To all of my friends in the fine dining business. Love Arby's. Love those sandwiches. Reminds me of people. But the question was about the Olive Garden. And I said, I've never eaten there yet. So I've got to ask the question, and you feel free to chime in if you want to. But if you've eaten there and you've got some thoughts, I'm still lurking on the Facebook side, not so much the YouTube side, because it looks like my last communication was from Fin Fan. But anyway, so Olive Garden, yes or no? Olive Garden, do I go in with very high expectations? The quality of the food, the quality of the service, and the affordability, or do I have to pick and choose? What I have to do
Michelin, you got to go in there with the Michelin
attitude. Right? Is it, price was good and the food was good, but the service, is it that, or is it the service was great, the price was great, but the food was or is it the food and the price were good, but I forget which one, but you know what I mean. Because usually around on Guam, it comes down to those three choices. We want high quality service, we want high quality food, and we want it to be affordable. Most places should have a sign that says high quality food, high quality service, and affordability. Pick either two. And that's what you're going to get when you get in there.
What about clean bathroom?
I've
been
to the bathroom at Village of Donkey, and but of course it was the first day they were open, so naturally they were clean. I don't know if it's got that.
Did spend some time in there.
I don't know if it's got that kind of DOE funk in the place yet. But I know. So looking for recommendations on that. If you have, then let me know. Or the other one, which might make for an interesting conversation one of these years, is which restaurant do we have now that you've never been to? Which restaurant on Guam is out there that you've never been to? You pass by all the time. Your friends tell you about it. Oh, we were there last week and it was wonderful. And then everybody's raving about the place. And you go, you know what? I've never had a chance to go by there. Wonder what goes on in there. I'll give you one. Because as I said, Olive Garden, when they had that one location over at Tumont Sands Plaza, I'd never been there. I was always otherwise going to join us, or I was going upstairs. But I'd never been to the Olive Garden, so I'm kind of interested to see what things are like in the new place. But likewise, and I hate to say this because I know the owners, and I consider them friends whenever we get together. I've never have I ever been to Pizza Kaya. Now I notice, Real Joe, you're not chiming in on any of this stuff.
No.
Have you ever been to Olive Garden?
I've been to Olive Garden. It's been a long time.
Are you just keeping your opinions to yourself?
Yeah.
Mark Anthony.
Okay. I wish them the best.
Mark Anthony says, we haven't eaten at Olive Garden on Guam. Okay, Nick Nichols is watching. He says the Crab Shack. Is that a real place? Oh, Crab Shack. No. Okay, no, the Crab Shack in Agania.
Daddy Crab Daddy.
Crab Daddy, yeah. Okay. No.
Chill, Daddy.
No, I have not eaten there yet.
Me neither.
Okay, but so here's the thing, and I almost feel bad about it because I am a guy that if you just got here, there was a time where you could not turn left from Route 8 onto Marine Corps Drive. You could only turn right. And I don't know why that is. I think it was political. I think somebody was doing some kind of revenge thing, and they just said, you know what? All those guys, everybody from Maya Elenia all the way to
Somebody
Paseo,
got mad.
screw those guys. Huh? Who do they think they're messing with? I'm Mr. Big around here, and I'm going to make it. So if you want to open a business there, it's going to die because people can't get right to it. So for years, you had to go north and then turn around right in front of the car shop. And then make your way back down. And they fight, and I'd fought it for years. I'm the guy on the radio. You know how I talk about that god-awful, butt-ugly chain-link fence? I fought just as hard to make it so that you could make a left-hand turn off Route 8 on the Marine Corps Drive, and we finally got it. And I'd always use as an example all of the space there for businesses that could come up if we could only make that left-hand turn. And they made it so you can. And since then, I've never been an axe murderer. I've never been to the Crab Daddy place. I went there accidentally because somebody was telling me about a crab party that we were going to have, and as it turns out, it wasn't there. It was over at Shirley's. Well, all right, what can I say? Not that good. Chris Frank says, never been to the Jamaican Grill. Oh, bro, 30 years they've been in business. It is a go-to for me. May I suggest it be a go-to for you? All right, for real this time. I'm not going to be here at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'm going to be in a Zoom because they think it's Tuesday. You have a fantastic rest of the day, whatever it is that you're going to be up to. It's time for Fox News. This is The Point.
News. President Biden expected to announce a sweeping new policy tomorrow for about 490,000 people married to U.S. citizens to apply for a parole in place program that will keep them from being deported and offer work permits if they've lived in the U.S. for at least 10 years. That's